Konnichiwa, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our podcast where we talk about a variety of topics from anime to movies and games.
Today's topic is part 1 of Pokemon typings and how they're weak to each other, strong against each other, and just our general opinions of them.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get started. Please enjoy.
Alright, so getting into this, going through all the typings, I'm going to give you the criteria that we're going to go through. First, so we'll give all the types we talk about, we're just going to be talking about them in their pure forms. We're not going to talk about dual typings because that would get very confusing.
There's so many different possibilities, the combinations of dual types you can have.
Yeah, so this is just in their pure forms. We'll talk about what they're strong against, what they're weak against, and if they don't do any damage. So we'll talk about as if we're using those types against the other type, as if we're battling.
Right.
Because that's probably what most people would find that useful for. We'll give our basic thoughts on the type, like if we use it a lot, what we think of it, blah 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 blah. And then we'll also give our favorite Pokemon the type.
No duplicates, by the way. So if you say, like fire type, you can't say Blaziken, and fighting type, you say Blazikens.
Yeah.
We need
variety.
variety.
We're having the rule, no starters, no legendaries, and no mythics.
Okay.
That way, because it'll be...
Does Eevee and Pikachu count as starters?
No.
Not the evolutions, just Eevee alone.
I would say no, because I mean, are you gonna pick Pikachu?
No.
Neither am I, so that
fair.
doesn't really matter.
That's fair.
I would say Eevee does count, but the evolutions do not.
Okay, that's fair. I do have other options than Eevee, but I'm just making sure.
So,
clarification.
Yeah, so that's going to be our criteria for going through all this. So our first type we're going to talk about is the normal type. So it's strong against nothing.
Pretty much.
It's not going to do much.
It's literally called normal.
Yeah.
It's us, basically. Humans. We're just normal.
Yeah, basically. It's weak against rock and steel. Makes sense. And it has no effect against ghost types.
Which also makes sense.
Yeah. So what's your thought on the normality of normal?
The normality of normal. I think, given the fact that normal is pretty much the most basic type, I still think normal types they still hold themselves.
Yeah.
So especially normal specifically, because they can learn a bunch of other moves from different typings.
Yeah.
So like my favorite example is Rattata. It can learn Thunder and Blizzard. Like what?
I mean, look at Snorlax. He can learn Surf, Psychic,
Earthquake. Normal types. That's the only benefit to normal types is they have the ability to learn other type moves.
Yeah. And also, if you look at a lot of the normal type moves, they are really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Hyper Beam,
Giga
Impact. Oh, what's the one that Rillaboom can learn? It's the Overburst, right?
Boomburst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually an Exploud original move, but yeah, still.
Well, that's Rillaboom's the only one I used it with.
That's fair.
Yeah. For me, normal is just normal. It's
also the first type you see on every start of the game. So
I'd say pretty neutral. So my favorite for the normal is Snorlax. I mean, I think that's most everybody's favorite.
That's fair.
I mean, Snorlax, he's a big cuddly guy, you know.
He gets bigger and cuddlier as a Gigantamax.
Took him 20 years to get on his feet.
And he can make pretty good pancakes.
I also love the fact that in Let's Go, when you use him as a riding Pokemon, you just hang on to stomach.
Mm-hmm. That's fun too.
Yeah.
It's a good ride. I don't know how you hang on, honestly, but it's
Torture him, man.
true. You right.
Alright, what's your favorite Pokemon? Normal Pokemon.
Well, obviously it'd be Eevee, but we're excluding Eevee.
Yeah.
Other than Eevee, I would say number 2 might have to be Zangoose.
Zangoose? I've never used Zangoose.
I've used it maybe once or twice, but it wasn't until maybe after X and Y that I started liking Zangoose as a Pokemon more. Personally, I don't know why. It just looks cool. It's got a great shiny, which is very basic,
Yeah.
but just something about it that just drew me in, you know?
No, I mean, that's fair. I mean, cool designs make the
Mhm.
Pokemon.
It's a great battler. It's a great PvP Pokemon, too. That's all. It's just a cool Pokemon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, my original answer is Eevee.
But it's a starter.
Yep. The next typing on the list is the fighting type. Fighting types are strong against that, but they're strong against dark types, ice types, normal, rock, and steel types. They are weak against bugs, fairies, birds, basically, flying, poison types, and psychic types. They also do not have an effect on ghost types as well, just like normals. Which, again, makes sense.
Yeah.
That's just like us normal people trying to punch a ghost. It doesn't make sense.
Basically, the fighting type is MMA fighters.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite fighting type, when I try to think of this, the most generic answer comes to my mind, which is Lucario.
I mean,
It's a
fan favorite.
It's a fan. That's why I said generic. It's a fan favorite, but overall, it's a fan favorite. It's very strong. It's very versatile.
Yeah.
If you've ever used Lucario, even in Gen 4, like Gen 4, amazing moveset. Close combat, extreme speed, aura sphere, shadow ball, bullet punch. It's just versatile. It's powerful. And overall, the design of it's just simple but good.
Yeah. I mean, you also have to think, since it's also a steel type, that means flying type moves will be less effective against it.
Yeah, flying, it's neutral now. It's neutral against flying, and it gives it that extra bit of defense that most fighting types don't have.
Yeah.
The only problem with Lucario is you can't give it a hug.
Because of the...
Yeah.
I mean, side hugs, man.
Side hugs. Yeah, exactly. But that's my choice.
My favorite fighting type is Urshifu from the Sword and Shield.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, so when you play the DLC and you get him and you fully evolve him, you can choose either between the water path or the dark path. I mean, that in itself, I think, is a cool and interesting design and way. Also, his specialty move on both of them, I think, they did really well on, getting that martial arts aspect and showing the differences in types of martial arts.
Yeah.
Also, this is a powerful Pokemon.
Yeah, I can say that. I only used it once for the fight with Mustard.
Yeah.
But
because you kind of have to.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, it's not a bad Pokemon. I already had a team going.
Yeah, that's the problem with, if you already played Sword and Shield and then you got the DLC, you already got a team going. I didn't use it in my Shield, but in my Sword, I started playing that one after I got the DLC. So when I first started my journey, I quickly grabbed the Bear Cub, and then I went on my journey.
Yeah.
So it was part of my team the entire time.
What path did you pick, by the way? I picked the Dark type.
For my Shield, I picked the Dark type. For my Sword, I picked the Water type.
I picked Dark because at the time, like I said, I already had a team.
Yeah.
And I had a Water type, so I was like, Dark type.
Yeah. So what's your thought on the fighting type as a whole?
Fighting type as a whole? good for power. That's about it.
That's about yeah.
Most fighting types are slow, and like I said, with Lucario specifically, the steel gives it the defense that most fighters don't have. So,
that's why Urshifu is really good. He has good speed. So I mean, if he can get out first, basically dead. What I find interesting about the fighting type is that I didn't realize how much it's weak against.
Oh yeah, it's got a
like. I keep forgetting it. Like it doesn't do much against bug types or poison types.
Sorry to, or no, not sorry. Thankful for Beedrill fans.
Yeah,
you don't gotta worry at all.
So,
see, to counter that fact though, most fighting types do learn specifically Rock Slide at least.
Yeah,
but otherwise, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. And then the introduction of the fairy type, I don't know why they made it weak against it, but it just added another one.
Little tiny fairy can take down this giant foreign muscly man and this gigantic dragon.
Have you read the fairy tales?
I've seen some of the anime.
Then you know. So all in all, I think the fighting type is good for people who want to use it, but personally, I've only used it once or twice.
Yeah, I mean, besides Lucario, I can't really. Well, excluding starters, can't really think of another time that I've used a fighting type besides Lucario. I love Hypnotop, but like I've still never used it.
I like Hypnotop in the anime.
That too.
That's about it.
I used to have one named Beyblade. It's true.
Yo, if Beyblade was still going strong and they did a collab with Pokemon,
it'd make Beyblade so much better.
Right?
Just imagine a Ditto. Ha!
It just flattens.
Yeah, basically. It would win.
Yeah, there we go. So the next type we're going to go over is flying, which is, I feel like most people have at least one flyer on their team, at least in the beginning, because of the basic Route 1 flyer that you can get.
And it's usually required up until
before
Sun and Moon, right?
Yeah,
Sun and Moon.
Before riding Pokemon were introduced, you needed a flyer to use the HM Fly, which was a hassle.
Yeah.
But, so, it's strong against bug, fighting, and grass, and it's weak against electric, rock, and steel. And it's effective against everything.
Yeah, so, pretty much.
From now on, if it doesn't have no effect against anything, we'll just leave it out.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense of flying, which is usually birds, strong against bugs and grass. Bugs more, but grass also makes sense. It's a bird.
Yeah, I mean, like most of the types it's weak against and strong against makes sense. And like I said, personally, I always usually have a flyer, mainly because it's now become habit.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Of playing through all the games and having to have one.
Plus, honestly, nowadays, the new flying types that come out are really cool not to use. So
I think the only ones I didn't really use a flyer and was just there as an HM slave was in Black and White, because I didn't really like what's its name? Unpheasant, yeah. I didn't really like the design that much,
just overall.
Yeah,
because it did have a male female difference.
Yeah,
just over. That's fair.
I think I just don't like pheasants in general, so the design just didn't do it for me.
I'm trying to think of other flying types in Unova, but the only ones I can think of are Unpheasant and Swanna.
Yeah, Swanna either. I couldn't. It didn't hit.
The predecessor to Quaxley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, what's your thoughts on the old flying type?
The old flying type. I feel like flying type is I don't have anything too special with flying types. I'd put on probably on the same level as normal,
Yeah.
where it's average.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of everywhere. It's
It's generic.
yeah. There's nothing really to say about it.
I also find it interesting, like, when you bring up the normal type, most of the Route 1 flyers is a normal flying,
Mm-hmm.
which I never realized until about Gen 4 when I actually started looking at the typings and wondering why the fighting types, when they hit me, were normal damage.
Right.
And I was like, wait, oh, they're normal and flying.
Yeah.
That's a dip.
I do have one fun fact about flying types. One fun fact I do have about flying types is Tornadus, right?
Yeah.
Beforehand used to be considered the only pure flying type because they always have a normal as a secondary type, right? I learned this recently within a couple months that Rookie D, the Rat 1 bird for Galar, is also pure flying.
It's
Is not
normal flying?
No, it's pure
Oh.
flying. I think Corvus Squire is also pure flying too. But yeah, Tornadus, get out of here. You got a competitor now. But yeah, that's like I said. It was only within a couple months I realized that.
I guess Nintendo finally realized their mistake.
Yeah, but it's really interesting.
That's-
But otherwise, those are the only 3 pure flyings. Usually they have normal or some
Yeah.
other typings to it.
That's interesting. So, my favorite flying type is and always will be Staraptor.
It's a great flying type.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing bad you can say about it. It's
No.
got a great design. It's got a great move set. It's powerful.
And it hits you with that surprise as soon as it evolves into Staraptor.
Right?
Learning a fighting type move.
Not just a fighting type move. One of those most powerful fighting type
Mhm.
moves. Close combat.
Which is, I think we've said this before, it's a funny visual. Honestly.
Yeah, and when we found it in the anime, the clip,
Oh, that's right.
it was hilarious to watch.
It just became the best move for Staraptor.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
If I see, God, there's so many. A lot of my favorite Pokemon are that I can think of for flying are part flying, but I won't put them in other categories.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna go with my absolute answer of Pidgeot, just because it's Pidgeot.
That's the OG bird.
Exactly. But honorable mentions being like Dragonite and Corviknight, which again
Yeah.
are all tied for first, but I have to pick one. But I have to go with the OG Pidgeot.
Oh, so we know what your upcoming ones will be.
Maybe.
Or
But,
he's just throwing off the scent.
Exactly. Gotta stay hidden. But yeah, it's just Pidgeot. It's a great Pokemon. It's a Route 1. It's probably one. It's a great start to the Route 1 birds as a whole.
Yeah.
Because when it's a Pidgeot, it's powerful. Probably more powerful than like Noctowl and Swellow and all that. Like it's a really strong Route 1 bird.
To be honest, I did not like using Noctowl.
I love Noctowl. I love its shiny, but I like Noctowl as a Pokemon.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just the dud I got, but the one I was weak as hell.
But yeah, it's like everyone knows what a Pidgeot is. Whether you use one or not, everyone knows what a Pidgeot is.
It's a classic now.
Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that I got a Mega too.
Yeah.
That's really
So
I'm
they
really
didn't
grateful for that.
Advertise that as well.
No. Even though I never used Mega Pidgeot.
Never used it either.
I love the
only
design of it, at least.
I found out after somebody... isn't one of the NPCs uses it as a Mega?
I think so. Something like that.
That's how I found out about it.
To be fair, there's a lot of Megas I don't remember, even to this day.
Did you know Alakazam has a Mega?
I do. Alakazam used to be one of my favorite psychic types, so I knew about that at least. But I always forget that Pinsir has a Mega too.
Pinsir has a Mega?
Uh-huh. Alright, so the next typing on the list is poison types. Poison types are strong against the fairy types and the grass types. They are weak against other poison types, which makes sense.
Yeah.
They're weak against ground types, rock types, and ghost types. which I guess makes sense for Ghost. It's like normal in fighting. Can't poison a ghost. I don't think, at least.
I mean, I guess not.
And poison has no effect on steel types, which I guess makes sense.
See, it doesn't make sense to me because there are chemicals, liquid chemicals you can mix to melt steel.
Mm-hmm.
And they are technically poison.
Isn't mercury basically just melted, just liquid metal?
It is, and is highly radioactive.
Yeah. I don't
know. I mean, I get what they were thinking because steel is like the upgraded version of rock.
Yeah.
I get what they were thinking, but what you gonna do?
Yeah, that's true. See, I'm in the same dilemma when it comes to flying types because some honorable mentions are like Crobat and you got Ariados, right? For their own reasons. One's a bat, one's a spider. I actually grew to love Ariados too, but if I had to choose, it would have to be Seviper. Why Seviper? Same reason as Zangoose. I just grew to love it for some reason.
You picked the two that were rivals.
Maybe that might be some reason. Honestly, I don't know. It's just there's something about those Pokemon specifically that I like. You know.
Yeah.
I don't have any other reason. I mean, it's a cool. I know Jesse. Yeah, Jesse used to have a Seviper,
Yeah.
and that was cool and all.
It really annoyed me that Team Rocket didn't carry their team over.
Mm-hmm. Gotta stay respective to the regions.
I mean, let's not get into that. So my favorite poison type Pokemon is Nidoking.
That's a fair
He's
one.
the only poison type I've ever used.
To be fair, that's probably the same for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a great Pokemon.
It's a great Pokemon. It's powerful. You know, he's part ground type.
Very versatile.
Yeah. He can learn Surf. I don't know why.
You can teach Nidoking so many moves.
So many moves that doesn't really make sense.
You can teach it like Aki said. You can teach it Surf. You can get Earthquake. You can get Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower. I think you can get Blizzard too.
See, it would make more sense if Nidoking was a fossil Pokemon.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I can see Nidoking back in the day.
Or if he was a dragon type.
That's a little overpowered.
Which is why they didn't make him a dragon type.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, Nidoking, the design. Well, I guess Nidoking and Nidoqueen, I love them both equally. But I've used Nidoking more.
Right. I agree, but not with the Nidoqueen. Only because they ruined the shiny.
I don't. What's the shiny?
So the shiny Nier and male are all blue, like Nidoqueen.
Yeah.
Nidoran female, Nidorina are blue. Nidoqueen turns into Dragonite Barf green.
Why?
That's what I mean. They ruined it. They could have just kept it purple.
Yeah. What? I was like, what?
Actually, it wasn't even purple. It was it's a lighter shade of blue and a lighter shade of purple. It's like a nice pink, which makes sense. It's a queen.
Keep it like that. Why did they go with the Vomit Green?
I don't know. They ruined it. And that's the only reason I don't like Nidoqueen.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
You got anything else for poison? I mean, I don't got much for it.
Nope.
Just that I don't use it, and I think the reason I don't use it because it's not strong against that much.
Not really. It's more of a dependent on the second typing.
Yeah.
Unless you're running a Cantonian Muck. That Pokemon's a good versatile Pokemon.
Well, we'll just go ahead and move on.
Mm-hmm.
So the next typing we got is the ground type. It is strong against electric, fire, poison, rock, and steel. It's weak against bug and grass, and has no effect on flying.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite types to use.
Fair.
Mainly because of how much it's good against and how little it's weak against. Like, just looking at it right now, it's a little OP.
Yeah, no, ground, at least, I don't know if it still is. I can imagine it is. It used to be at least the most powerful typing.
Yeah.
Ground. I don't know if it still
Well, I would
is.
say it used to be like the top, because the top three used to be like Dragon, Ghost, and Ground.
Yeah.
Those were like some of the most unbeatable ones.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of toss up depending on what types you're using.
And and still excluding flying and ignoring bug and grass, it hits everything hard,
Yeah.
even for neutral damage.
I mean, if you look at a lot of the ground type moves, like, Earthquake,
the popular one,
most
yeah.
popular one. You got Earth Power if you want to
Mhm.
go special attack. You got what's the other one?
You got the Oko Fissure move.
Yeah, that's it. Fissure. You got so many good ground type moves. It's a little OP. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's all it needs.
But my favorite ground type to use specifically as a ground type, is Gliscor.
That's a great Pokemon.
Yeah, he is like really powerful, and I didn't realize how powerful he was until I used him.
Especially if you can get, I don't know, I don't remember if it's a normal ability or hidden ability. If you can get it with pure Poison Cure as well.
I think it's hidden.
Hidden, yeah, but Poison Cure as a ground type,
Yeah,
really good.
he's really good.
Oh, you poisoned my Gliscor. Oh no, yeah, that's whatever. Earthquake. You'll be fine.
Earthquake, X Scissors, Cross Poison. He can learn so many of the good moves.
Lots of the higher tier Pokemon are very versatile.
Yeah, very versatile. What's your favorite ground type?
Groundion. One day we'll get an evolution for all the typings. It won't be called Groundion. I hope it doesn't.
It sounds too much like Groudon.
True. If we can't pick legendaries, I would pick Groudon. I love Groudon.
I thought you said Groudon at first, so I was like, what?
Groudon is a Route 1 Pokemon. What are you talking about?
Can you imagine?
I'm sure you know this by now. I love every Pokemon equally, so it's hard to pick one over the other. I want to say the first one that comes to mind right now, right? Crocodile. I mean,
that's fair.
Like, visually, it's not that appealing of a Pokemon, especially it's shiny. But I like Nidoking. Nidoking. It's a very powerful ground type.
It's very powerful, and also if you think about, visually, it looks great in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Ash's one.
Yeah.
And honestly, that Pokemon is the only reason Ash got very far in the Unova League. Because Ash was a crap trainer in Unova, and everybody knows it.
That's fair. Plus, Crocodile runs the dark typing as well.
Yeah.
So he gets ability from all the strong physical dark type moves, like Crunch, for example. Which might be the only physical dark type move, now that I think about it.
Night Slash.
Does it get Night Slash?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Like one.
Most people run Crunch on it anyways.
Yeah.
Because they usually have like Outrage or Earthquake or some other non-darker ground type move on it. But yeah, it gets Outrage.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I think it gets Surf too. I could be wrong.
Surf is thrown out a lot around the Pokemon universe.
I mean, you could teach a I think it's just Rhydon can learn Surf. I don't think Rhyhorn can. But as soon as it becomes a Rhydon, it can learn Surf. For some reason.
For some whatever reason.
Why can a rock surf? Rock and ground surf?
I mean, islands are technically huge rocks that are floating through the ocean, right?
No, stop.
Am I wrong though?
No, but stop. No, I was mistaken. It can't learn surf. I just wanted to correct myself before we moved on. I thought it did for some reason.
I mean, seeing how many Pokemon can learn surf.
True. Alright, I corrected myself. Let's go. Alright, so the next on our list is what I like to consider the diet of a ground type. It's called the rock type. Rock types are strong against bugs, fire, birds, and ice. Which all kind of honestly makes sense.
Makes sense.
And the rock types are weak against fighting. The full version of rocks would be ground. And then steel types.
Yeah.
My opinion on rock types, I mean, like I said, it's a diet of a ground type. It
Yeah.
still has the same kind of power, but less, considering it's weak to ground. If you do some weird sciencey stuff, you can turn it into steel, but it's so weak to steel.
Yeah.
I feel like it's on the same. It might, at least for me, it's on the same level as poison, where it's kind of everywhere, but you still don't use it. You know?
Yeah, it's everywhere. I only use it if I'm using it with the ground type.
It's like poison, where you're kind of dependent on the second type.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of
Or if I just want to use a rock type move, like rock slide.
Yeah, because I can't think of a pure rock type. First of all, secondly, that I use. So obviously there's Bonsly and Sudowoodo.
What's his name? Shoot, I just nose pass.
Yeah, but see, Nosepass evolves is the problem. When it
Yeah.
evolves,
Well, he didn't always evolve.
Yeah, but you still wouldn't use. You still
He
even
was
then you
still
still
a
wouldn't
weak
use them.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Now you think it gets the steel type when it evolves,
Yeah.
so that helps still. I feel like rock is also on the same level as steel in terms of just having general defense. As
Yeah.
well. That's really all you need.
I got nothing to add.
You got nothing to add?
You said it all. I got nothing to add.
That's fair. Do you want to start with your favorite rock type then, or
my favorite is Rhyperior.
that's a great
It's
one.
the only one I use.
That's fair. I would say it's very very versatile, but the only moves that I can think of it getting outside of rock and ground type moves are surf.
It's honestly just a big hunk of rock used for power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has a high attack stack. It's nothing special. I'll use it if I want to use a cool looking Pokemon.
Yeah,
That's about it.
I was gonna say it is a really cool like Pokemon appearance wise.
Yeah. So
I like that it goes from like these tiny arms as a Rhydon. It's like
Right.
massive arms with like shoulder spikes going up. Ha.
yeah.
Yeah. My only favorite rock type is, at this point, I don't know why, because I've still never used it realistically, is Kabutops.
Well, I mean, it's a cool looking Pokemon.
It is. It's also one of the very few green shinies that I'll accept without a doubt. It's just a cool design. That's all it is.
And I will say its water subtype actually helps it a bit.
Yeah. And in all fairness, personally, it's the fossil out of the two Kanto ones that didn't get memed. So
It's actually, honestly, the two Kanto fossils. It's the only one I ever picked. I never
three. Sorry, not two.
Oh yeah, well, I don't count Aerodactyl because it's not one of the two options in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a freebie.
Don't get us wrong. Aerodactyl's a great Pokemon.
He's a great Pokemon. I don't ever use him.
Yeah, power-wise, it's got a Mega.
Yeah.
And just overall, again, just power. But
Yeah.
it's out of the way, if anything.
I didn't even realize it was a fossil until I saw it as an option doing the fossil thing at the fossil lab.
Did you know that you're just given a free Aerodactyl in Sun and Moon?
Dude, isn't you can?
Yeah.
Where?
On Pony Island, the last island.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the first boat on the left because you start at the pier.
Right.
Like the first or second boat on the left. You walk in, you talk to the person. Here's a free Aerodactyl.
Dude's giving away free dinosaurs. All right.
Yeah. Still never used it because at that point you already have a team for the
Yeah.
end of the game.
The only boat that I went to on Pony Island was the Raichu guy to get the Raichu Z move.
Oh, true.
That's about it.
That's fair.
Anyways, we digress on rock types. Arigato everyone for watching to the end. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and was entertained, and hopefully you learned something new.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so you can keep updated with any new releases we have.
And go ahead and comment down below if you have any recommendations on movies, animes, or games. Sayonara.
Bye.